All right, so we are back, and we are continuing on with
Shrek.
Yep, Shrek 2 today. So, you remember everything that happened in Shrek 1?
Yes.
And I think you said in the last video that you've seen Shrek 1, you've seen Shrek 2 quite a bit. So it'll be the other two films. What about the Puss and Cat films? Did you ever watch those?
I did see some parts, but not the movies itself.
So, we don't have to go through the entire movie, but, what happened with Shrek at the end of the last movie?
So we're at the castle, or
Just in general. Did he get his swamp back?
yes, he did, and also the king got eaten by the dragon.
Yeah.
Yay!
And did anything else happen for Shrek?
Yes, he fell in love.
I fell in love with who?
A princess, which is also a ogre.
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 And what happened with his, did he make any friends in the last movie?
Yes, which is
You tell us.
Donkey.
Donkey. And did Donkey have anything special happen?
Yes, I fell in love with the dragon.
He fell in love with the dragon.
Well, the dragon fell in love with him, but
Yeah. So, what do you, are you excited to watch this movie, you know?
yes, let's go.
Alright, well, we will see you guys after we're finished watching
Bye.
Shrek 2.
Bye.
Shrek Fiona! Look, here comes Sleeping Beauty! Oh! I hate these ball shows! Flip over the wheel of torture!
You are cordially invited.
Yes, sir! Everybody dig in!
Don't mind if I do, Lillian.
I could be Shrek too!
Give me that gas.
Donkey! Fiona!
Dying, baby!
Alright, so we just finished watching.
Shrek 2.
And before we get into this review, Cora, I told you during the movie, I thought of the hardest question you will ever have to answer about Shrek.
Yeah, what is it?
Who do you like more? Donkey or Puss in Boots?
Of course, Puss in Boots. Give me a hat. Let me see this hat. You can not resist him doing this.
Yeah.
Trust me, watch the movie. It's so cute. Even watching a real Puss in Boots movie,
But when we watched
it
the first movie, you said your favorite character was Donkey.
because it's funny. And
So
we
Donkey
never
was
Puss in-
easily replaced by a cat with boots, huh?
You can never go wrong. It's Puss
Anyways,
and Boots.
why don't you tell us what happened in the movie?
So once again, we're meeting with Shrek and
Fiona.
Fiona, and they want a honeymoon. Little Red Riding Hood gets jump scared by Shrek and Fiona, and she accidentally lifts her back full of chicken nuggets. When I should say chicken nuggets, but still, and they eat those chicken nuggets, and then
I don't think those were chicken nuggets. I think you're talking about the chicken legs.
Chicken nuggets!
They were chicken legs.
No, they're chicken nuggets.
I think that was like the Red Riding Hood delivery service. I mean, they didn't actually say anything, but like, A, why would Little Red Riding Hood be going to a honeymoon suite carrying a basket? I think it was supposed to be a joke, like she's delivering food, kind of like. Well, I mean, the joke would make more sense now because of things like DoorDash and Uber Eats and all those other things that I guess they have. But anyways, so who shows up at the swamp?
Donkey.
Who else shows up at the swamp?
Some people.
And what are these people there for?
To invite a land card.
You mean to invite Fiona?
And
Shrek?
2.
You say it. You're supposed to be giving the recap of the movie.
Come on, I know I say it.
Come on.
To make me do the cat again.
Come on.
Okay, fine. The far away. I'm gonna do the cat thing.
It would probably work better with this hat.
Pick.
Yeah. Anyways.
I did the cat thing.
And that's not Puss in Boots, that's Pirates.
You guys said nothing.
Anyways, so they make it to far, far away, then what happens? What do we find out?
We meet Fiona's parents.
Okay, well that was kind of given, but I meant, what do we find out?
I have no idea.
That somebody else was looking for Fiona, wasn't he?
Yes, and also, of course, Donkey Kong.
And he endured blistering winds, cold temperatures. He climbed to the tallest room of the tallest tower, pulled back the curtain, and found
A wolf?
a gender-confused wolf.
Ah, such a sweet story. For that story, I'm gonna read Shrek.
But anyways, meanwhile, Shrek's not getting along with Fiona's parents, is he?
No, he is not.
Well, he's not with the father. Seems that the father is the one with the most hang-ups on Shrek.
Yeah.
And see, this is back, honestly, to tell you the truth, and I know Cora's really not going to understand, back during the time period when this was made, this was smart filmmaking. They were kind of giving a message. They kind of had that wokeology, that stuff that we look at today and go, oh, the movie's super woke. And they weren't making a big deal about it. They just had it in the movie. But now, this movie, well, this would be made, and if you didn't like these things in the movie, you'd be called names and stuff, but everybody would be sick of it, so people would stop going to see stuff like this, and this movie would have bombed had it came out a long time ago. Or I should say, if it came out now, rather than a while back, long time ago. But anyways, let's continue on. So anyways, who's mad?
Fiona.
No. Somebody's mad at Fiona's father.
Drumble/not.
Just go.
Fairy Godmother.
And why is she mad?
I have. Just kidding. Because
Yeah.
Even though that should be really happening to her son slash
Her son.
her son.
Charming's her son.
Prince Charming.
It would have been nice, and I think that's where they got one more sequel in them, is to maybe go back through the franchise and find out kind of who was Charming's father. And why was Fiona cursed in the first place? I think that's some ideas that could get them off with one final Shrek movie. And then I think they should be done after one more. But anyways, so the father goes to a evil lair bar kind of place where there's a bunch of villains. And what does he do? Who does he goes there to enlist some services.
He goes and asks Puss.
He goes looking for a bounty hunter. And the bounty hunter is
Puss
in
Boots.
Weirdo. And so Shrek and Donkey, they set out on their own little quick adventure to go to the Fairy Godmother's factory, basically.
And guess who we meet?
Who?
Puss and
You say it. Just say it. Boots. You're a weirdo.
I know.
Anyways, they fight. Does Puss kill Shrek?
No.
What happens?
The guy had gotten into an argument, and then Puss managed to follow on with an adventure by doing the trick. Like and
Oh,
subscribe.
look at his wee little boots.
Like and subscribe, please.
And, so, what ends up happening? Do they let Puss live?
Yes,
And what does he do?
I just told you.
He becomes part of the team?
Yes, he does come part of the team.
So the team makes it to the Fairy Godmother's factory, and what do?
They go ahead and sneak in to steal a potion.
Yeah, what's the potion called? And why are you eating the plastic or the wrapper?
I'm not.
It looks like you are. Looks like you've eaten up to the wrapper and you're still eating it without peeling more of the wrapper. And it's kind of rude to do that on camera.
Hey,
You could have waited till we were done.
I'm sorry, I'm hungry.
You're always hungry.
I'm sorry, I'm a hungry girl.
Anyways, what was the name of the potion?
Happy ever after.
And Daddy made a really funny comment when he went to see the Fairy Godmother, which got Cora really laughing. The Fairy Godmother was pulling out book after book after book of princess stories. And I kid you not, if you rewatch that scene, you'll see she goes like halfway through the book. It says, oh, this person lives happily ever after. I'm like, wait a minute, the spine of the book said Cinderella. When you pulled it out, the whole book is Cinderella's book. And you only went through half of the book?
Yeah,
And you're saying happily ever after? What's the rest of that book about it? There's obviously more to the story. She clearly did not live happily ever after if there's more story after happily ever after.
I mean, they could have just like went and since most books like on picture and like other stuff or like on the
Of course, she's only halfway through the book, and she's reading what should be the final line. Now, it would have made more sense if, like, she opened up the back of the book and just turned a page. Oh, happily ever after.
No.
Oh, happily ever after. But no, she opens it up to the middle and reads from the middle of the books. It's like, wait a minute, there's clearly more story there. So, no, not happily ever after.
I mean, she was probably at the pond where, like, Cinderella meets the prince.
But then she wouldn't have seen a happily ever after written there.
Yeah, but it would make more sense because it would be Ogle. But the rest of the books, yeah, nah.
But that's what I'm saying. She was supposedly reading where it says happily ever after. But anyways, so what ends up happening with Shrek when he steals this potion?
They get into trouble, but they escape. By pulling
Well, what does the potion do?
Make them handsome, of course.
Yeah. And does Fiona like the new Shrek?
No.
Why not?
Because Prince Charming sneakily replaces Shrek's spot.
Yeah.
Da, da, da.
So then we get an epic chase, which, sorry to say, that is probably the one part of this movie that I'd say is probably the weakest part. Because at the beginning of the movie, it took Shrek, Fiona, and Donkey forever. Days on days to get too far, far away from the swamp. And then Pinocchio, the three blind mice, the three little pigs, and Gingerbread Man get there in like an hour. That makes no sense. That the whole group that was staying at Shrek's place just happened to get there super quick. Now, it would have made sense if they maybe showed that they flew on the back of Dragon, or if Dragon carried a basket with them in its side. But no.
I mean, they probably did it so the creators didn't probably want to show it on screen and waste more time of the movie.
But then Dragon would have been available for the end battle. And they wouldn't need Mungo.
The Mongo idea was pretty cool, especially
So,
but they didn't like the part where, like, Mongo, like,
although that's another issue too, is Drury Lane is supposed to be back at Shrek's, the castle near Shrek's house. Not in far, far away. Well, because, hold on. No, just wait. Because the whole thing is that, when we first meet, what's his name? Lord Farquaad, he asked, our Gingerbread Man asked, do you know the Muffin Man? And he's like, the Muffin Man? The one on Drury Lane? And he's like, yes. And it's like, okay, so wait a minute. So that should be in that kingdom. But, alright, so they get to the end, and they have a big chase scene. They have a big, I want to say battle, necessarily. They do have a lot of stuff go on. And what ends up happening in the end?
we go ahead and have a dance party, of course.
Yeah.
And during the fight, guess what Puss did?
What? Yeah, your favorite thing.
We cannot forget that, okay?
So, yeah, so that was the movie, basically. Ultimately, Shrek and Fiona end up back together, and everybody ends up back the way they were, and we just have a couple new, we only have really one new cast member, and that's Puss. So, we'll be right back, and as soon as we come back, we will do our final score and everything.
Bye.
For thousands of years, the world has been protected by the Guardian of Light, or as he is more commonly known, Santa Claus. Over the centuries, factors such as fear and prejudice, greed and jealousy, misunderstandings, betrayal and war have segregated most humans from the magical world of elves, fairies, wizards, and the like. This has resulted in many misconceptions and generalizations of the true nature of Santa and his world.
This 6-book series by Sean Connaughton begins as the current of a long series of guardians is murdered by a group of monstrous enemies recently escaped from an enchanted South Pole prison. These creatures are loyal to the darkness, an evil force determined to exterminate the light in order to enslave all creatures of the world.
Shane Connor, an average young man, suddenly finds himself being trained as the new guardian. As he adapts to his new life among fantastic creatures, he goes on an adventurous quest with a legendary wizard for the ultimate weapon to use against the darkness, and faces murderous enemies like Rasputin, Morgana Le Fay, Krampus, and many more.
Along with his best friend Joe Gomez, Shane encounters politics, history, mysterious murders, new loves, his own hidden past, and racial dynamics among the fantasy races that turn out to be all too real. Their adventures reveal the true nature of the world and challenge the current state of how all races interact.
This series expertly melds myths, legends, history, faiths, folklore, and secret societies into a fascinating, cohesive, comprehensive world of wonder and magic.
From Atlantis to Olympus, from Hades to the moon, and from broomstick races to Christmas deadlines, join the new Santa Claus on his amazing journey. But beware, will Shane's quest achieve his ultimate goal of destroying the darkness and preserving the light of the world? Or is he actually playing right into a plot by dark forces that will result in his, and our, ultimate doom?
So make your list and check it twice for the Guardian of Light book series. Download your audiobook or ebook today from Audible, Amazon, or iTunes.
Hello there. I promise we'll get right back to the video shortly. I just wanted to say that many writers, YouTubers, readers, and gamers often talk about one thing that they all share in common, and that is drinking coffee. And perhaps you're tired of going out and ordering expensive high-end coffees and cappuccinos from huge corporations, and are looking for a way to have that same or better coffee brewed right in your own home. So I want to ask that you consider trying Coffee Brand Coffee. You can order from an array of different blends that will be delivered right to your door. And if coffee is not your thing, they also have teas, cocos, and chocolates. Why am I doing this, you may ask? Well, for a long time now, I have been a fan of a channel called The Quartering, which is constantly reporting on the news, and the head of the channel, Jeremy, has worked really hard for his viewers over the time I've watched this channel. He has done so much, helping out others and smaller channels, working hard to make several videos a day, which I can tell you, does take quite a good amount of work. And recently, he started his own coffee company. So if you're willing to try and change to a better coffee, tea, or K-cup because you need that sweet caffeine fix to get you through writing that next novel, reading that next book, playing that new video game long into the late hours of the night, or starting off early in the morning for a long live stream, then head over to the website for Coffee Brand Coffee or check out the channel The Quartering and see what delicious specials they have going on. Alright, sorry we tried to rush that ending a little bit, but she had to go turn off her alarm. We didn't want to get copyright strike because it was playing music. So, but anyways, real quick, Sakura.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give Shrek 2?
A 9 out of 10.
A 9 out of 10. Why?
Because there was one part that it was kind of weird
What?
that I didn't mention during the movie. You see Donkey leave in the truck, I guess? But then, a later part soon in the movie, you see Donkey at the castle when he left. I mean, it probably makes sense if he come back, but
He wanted out of that situation, so he just rode with the carriage, which was going to the stables. The stables are usually on the side of a castle, so he probably, like you said, just walked through the castle and just wanted to be away from the crowd.
yeah,
That was very uncomfortable.
yeah. But if I believe so, the door should have been locked during that time because it was nighttime, and also.
He was just following people. He probably followed the people who were driving the carriage, who probably went inside to go rest and go to sleep. You know, castles can house a lot of people. They're huge. My question is do you think that the king and queen were Fiona's parents? Do you think that they were like the king and queen of all fairy tale kingdom?
I think so.
Because, like, they had the biggest castle of everybody. Like, we saw a castle for Rapunzel. We saw a castle for Cinderella. And then we saw their castle, and it's like 6 times bigger.
And also, you also saw Lord Farquaad's castle.
It was bigger than even his castle.
Yes!
And he was compensating for something.
Yes! Yes!
And probably like Donkey, you don't get that.
Donkey!
But you'll get it one day. When you look back at these reviews, you'll get it. So anyways, any other reasons why?
Because I gave it a 9 out of 10, the movie was good. I mean, yes, but anyway, and I also was, like, confused about, like, I am also going to read up, like, what you kind of said. They're probably at Shrek's house watching television. How did they get from Shrek's house to a prison in the land of far, far away? Probably an hour or two.
I don't know.
I mean, for Shrek's during the trip for Shrek and Fiona and Donkey, it probably took them a few days or so. But for the others, probably until nighttime or 2 hours?
Yeah.
How the pickle?
Anyways, let's move on to my score. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would honestly have to give Shrek 2 a 10 out of 10. I actually think this one holds up better and is more interesting story-wise. Even though I, am very against, like, woke culture, and I see a lot of that stuff being in this, because it wasn't made in this time. It's a little bit more forgivable. But, other than that one issue, which I really didn't find, breaking too much, because we never know. There could be some story reason that they just never explained how they got there, like magic or something. Someone knew, or someone knew someone who could do the magic and teleport them there.
But how?
I don't know. Guess maybe that's one thing we'll find out. Maybe they'll go back through and they'll tie up these loose ends with a 5th movie. Like I said, we never found out what happened to Prince Charming's father. Maybe he's responsible because he wanted to stop Fairy Godmother from taking over the world. Maybe that was all part of her big plan, was to take over the world, and she needed her son to become a king to do it.
I mean, it would probably make sense, but
And
a fairy godmother.
Maybe Prince Charming's father knew what she was planning and was going around.
But if she was really planning that, couldn't she, do some magic to take over the world and not wait for her son to become king?
I don't know. I'm just speculating here. I'm just reaching, okay? Reaching.
Because she is a fairy godmother. And fairy godmothers can do magic.
But not infinite magic. Usually, people who can do magic, they have some kind of limit. Some kind of limitation. Otherwise, they're gods.
I mean, she could have, done a potion.
I mean, even the genie, who has phenomenal cosmic powers, is bound by 3 rules.
Of course, because people are only allowed to have 3 wishes.
But he's bound by rules. So, there are probably rules and limitations. Usually you do that as a story creator. You give your characters rules and limitations. That way, they don't go OP. And you know what OP means. But anyways, so that's going to wrap up this review. If we think of any more, we'll bring it up when we do our next review, which will be Shrek the Third, I believe it's called. So, we'll see y'all in the next review.